Today I have little Bella with me. I got started with Bella. I'm gonna wait for some people to come in here. If anyone comes to see us this morning. So let's wait a bit. I got Bella with me and she has greasy ears because she had an ear infection. So what I tend to use is a degreaser. It's the Davis degreaser shampoo that I use. And I'm starting off with the degreaser on her ears. And I'm going to be sure to get a little bit underneath in her face here. Eventually I'll get a bigger tub, guys, so you can see better. And another light. I know this pink light is pretty annoying, but it's for my plants, so I'm going to get another light right over my sink, over my tub. I'm going to do this side too, honey. Hang on. This side too. So, yeah, so what I do is I'm getting the degreaser on her ears and right below right here so that she doesn't, I can get all that grease out, right? What other reason why I would do that, huh? All right, so while that's working, because it's good for the degreaser to work a while. I already got her all wet, all over her body. So now I'm going to jump in. What's this? Jump in and start washing with my 2-in-1 shampoo. So I'm going to get it all over her body, on her tail, on one leg, on the other leg, both legs. A little bit under the tummy there and around the neck. I don't do the head with this shampoo. I do a facial. So I'm going to massage this in nice and softly. Getting my fingers, you want to massage with your fingers. We're not just cleaning the hair. We need to get down to the skin. I recommend one of these brushes if you want to get down even more without pressing. I'm just giving a little bit of a light rub. On top of her body, like that. You can go down to the sides of the legs, side of her body. You can do the belly. This is a little girl, so she doesn't have her pee-pee there. So being careful just the same. She's got little nipples. Yeah. Do the other side, same thing. So we're gonna get the other side. So that while that degreaser is working on her ears because of her ear infection that she had, it was like she came back from Florida, and the lady said that she caught some, I don't know if she was swimming or what, but she ended up coming back to me with this really bad ear infection. So once you've done the whole body, I'm going to come in with my, just rubbing each foot, each leg. And I want to get her in and out as quickly as I can, but at the same time, I want to be thorough. So you go between the toes and you just get it done, right? So I always try to do anything I do while I'm grooming, I try to always do the same sequence, right? So I'll do back, tail, and bump, one leg, other leg, and as I said, I'm going to get myself a light to come so you guys can see better, and probably try to get a better angle with my camera so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to get I want another tub, a larger tub, so you guys can see a lot better. So I'm going between her toes, and this is the first scrub down, the first bath. I like to do 2. I do 2 facials and 2 body washes. She's looking at me. Look at that. Look at her. Look at what I'm seeing here. Look at you. Let's scratch your neck. Look at your belly. She's a pretty Shih Tzu. Her name is Bella. So see, I already have degreaser over here. So what I'm going to do is, before adding that other shampoo, because I don't really like mixing shampoos together for some reason. what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse that out. Rinse out her ears first. Okay, it may sound complicated, but it really isn't, guys. So rinse out her ears. Squeeze that all out. And being careful not to get any on the inside of the ear. And I'll show you what I do to be sure to not get any on the inside of her ear. Hang on. Just get most of the bulk out. That soap, I'm going to actually wipe that up, get all that water off. Wipe it up really good, okay? So now I can fold the ear and I can get all of that off. I want to be sure not to get any water in there, and that's why I wiped. See, I wiped because if I don't wipe her ear and I press, the water that's on her ear will go down her ear canal. So if I wipe it all off, there's no danger. She just got done having all that medication put in her ears for I don't know how long. I'm not going to want to cause any more damage to those ears. We don't want to have any infections, so no water in the ears. Alright? Same thing on this side. Hey, you're blocking the sink's full. See? I can get that all rinsed out. But the thing is here, hang on. Alright. So that was just the degreaser, okay? So we used the degreaser and I left that on for a good few minutes. And now I'm going to go and do her facial, okay? So I am going to wash her ears with the facial product, get some on top of her head, on the sides here. And we're going to scrub a dub, round and round. And for Shih Tzus, for her, I find her nose is a little close to her eyes. So I don't usually go in with soap for when they're too... when the nose is too short and too close to the eyes. I don't use soap. I use another product to come and clean this area. But I'll come in as close as I can, like all the way up to here. I really don't want to get any soap in her eyes. I don't want to get too much water. Well, water's okay. Sometimes they get water in their eyes, but it's just water, right? Bring her down. I'm gonna come up to here as best as I can to get that soap right close to those eyes. So sometimes you guys, if you're grooming your dog at home and they got a little short snout like that, you're all stressed about how do we get that clean? And I'm going to show you what I do to get that all cleaned up with another product without getting any soap in their eyes. Okay. Okay. So now that she's got her ears done, see, we did the degreaser first. Now we're coming in and we're doing that using the facial soap. Always remember, the inside here gets greasy too. Okay? Under the ears, give them a scratch. They love it. And that chin. Whoops. Alright. So, this is how I rinse off their heads for a Shih Tzu. In a second, I'm going to show you how I do that. You just want to make sure the water is tepid. You do not want it warmer than your body temperature. I tend to go more on the warm cooler than warm hotter. The dog's body temperature is not the same as us, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe all that soap off with my towel just to get most of the water out. So I'm going to be squishing her ears. Okay, and I'm going to hold her ears, both ears, holding at the opening, and I'm going to keep her head back, right at the top of her eye, not getting any soap in her eyes. I'm just going to rinse all of that out. So you don't have to get it all out right now because we're going to do a second scrub, okay? Rinse out. You know, it may seem tedious. I mean, I work for myself. You know, I don't have a boss. I'm my own boss, so I like to take my time and do 4 pups a day. And, you know, I'm not in any rush. So I wipe everything off. I'm going to come in with more soap anyway. So let's rinse off this body. We go from the top to back. All the water all leaks down. Tail, the water's going downwards. One leg, other leg, neck, next leg, other leg, and the last place you want to rinse is the belly because everything came down around the sides and it came on the belly. So the belly's got to be rinsed out last part. So I'm going to give her a second shampoo. That's all right. A little wiggle. Back, tail, one leg, other leg, next leg, this leg, and all around her neck, sides, and underbelly. And this is what I do. Go in and I scratch. My nails are not very long. Actually, I've been biting my nails and I shouldn't be, but I started biting my nails. I was two years without chomping down on my nails. And lately I have been bad habit. So see all of that, guys? See that? That means that your dog's hair is clean. So we're going to do the bum, tail, one foot, other foot. So this is the second shampoo. Neck, one foot, other foot. So this is the second shampoo. We're going to rinse her out right after I do one last facial. So we're going to use the blueberry facial, put a little on the top of her head, come around, and then we're going to get to the table. I'm going to show you how I wash this eye area. I don't want to get any soap in that area because her nose is too close. Yeah. Bella, now those ears are going to be perfect now that I use the degreaser. Sides here. Because she's had greasy ears for the past month from all of the the medication. That medication is so greasy. So see, as you see, I'm not putting any soap on her little snout here. Just gonna scrub that, rinse her out, and we're gonna get to the table. All right, so this is her last rinse, and we're gonna do a good rinse, okay? Second rinse was just fine. We didn't have to go in deep rinsing because we're doing a second pass with our soap. So again, tepid water, a little cooler than body temperature is what I tend to use, just lightly, really. So in the back, the water and the soap runs down the sides, okay? And then you do the tail, the bum, and I'm telling you this because so that you understand that, of course, the last place we're going to rinse is the belly because it just runs down to the sides. So, do the back, the tail. I usually wear gloves, but sometimes I won't wear them, especially in the winter time. I wear them because I end up with really dry skin. So that's all rinsed out. I'll show you how I rinse out the head if you just popped in for the live. Have any questions? Yo, cool, hi, hello. The dog is vibing. I have a question. Yes, go ahead, Hunter. What's your question? I'm right here. This is why I'm doing these live videos. Hang on. I'm going to bring the pup here and I'm going to wipe up all of that water and that soap. This is how I do it. You know, this is just how I do it. I just don't want them to get any ear infection, so I just wipe up all the water and soap, and then that's when I hold the ear down and then rinse. Because if I'm pushing down on the ear while there's water and soap there, if I push down, of course, water will run down the ear because it's all absorbed. This ear absorbed all of the water, and it'll just leak right down. And you'll be wondering, why in heck do my pups get these ear infections? So as you see, Bella, she brings her head up. Let's try to bring her head down a little bit. Now if she had any debris here, I'd bring in just a little bit of that water, just so that by the time I clean out that debris at the table, then I can take it out with my flea comb really easily. So I'm still waiting for your question. Hang on. Okay. I'm wiping her up again. I'll do one last rinse on her face. Guys, it is tedious work, but I want to be sure that she goes home and she's not itchy. Because if there's soap left there, they'll be itchy. Okay, so you come in underneath here. Same thing on this side. Blocking that ear canal. Alright, so the last place we rinse out will be the belly. She's sitting on the drain hole here. You want to lift your legs? Go up, up. Always slowly. If it's an older dog, you know, you might not enjoy being standing like this. So you gotta come in from underneath like that. I just like to lift them. If they're good with lifting, I like it. So we're gonna rinse this out one last time, get it ready to wipe her up. And I'm keeping my eye on that train to be sure that there's no soap left. So it's all clear, running clear. We're good to go. We're done. We're done. So now we're going to use this cloth here. Absorb all of that water. Absorb all of the water. Rinse that out. You can use a chamois, or I prefer using these washcloths. I don't like to use like a chamois, or, you know, I don't like to use the same towel on a whole bunch of different dogs. To me, I don't think it's clean. They get stinky. Towels get stinky. So I like to use a fresh new towel for each pup. Now, it would be one thing if I was doing 25 dogs a day, which is not my case. I don't know, but I don't, you know, I run a privately owned small grooming business. So let's bring her to, hang on, I don't want to make you guys too dizzy. Hang on. I'm going to bring her to the table here. Make sure that I secure her right there so she doesn't fall off or jump off. There you go. Wiped up. Now I'm making sure I get all of that water. So we're gonna, I have a new dryer. I'm gonna show you that I have. How about your feet? Can you show me your face again, Bella? Show me your face. There. I'm going to show you how I got to get all of that water off of those ears here. So, there you go, all dry. She's thinking, lady, are you going to let me go? Come closer, honey. All right. So I'm going to get myself a mask. Masks are really important. And the reason why is because there's hair and dander and all kinds of different dusts and stuff like that when you're blow drying and brushing. So the mask is really important so that you don't get that in your lungs. I'm just wearing a normal mask, you know, we all know these masks. But this is just so that I don't get hair and dander and whatnot in my lungs, because you can get what they call a groomer's lung. And I don't want to get sick, so I'm going to protect my lungs. So what I tend to do right after the bath, I'll give them a little bit of a conditioning spray on her tail. She likes to sit. This is just a mister. It mists the product. Oh. Turn, hon. We're going to get that in. We're going to get that working. Okay? Top. Over here and on the ears. And then I'll massage that in. I don't always use it. I've been using it more lately. It's a new spray that I got, so I'm liking it. Right, so let's give her a comb, and I'm going to use a wet brush, which I absolutely love. I got it off of Amazon. And I'm not paid for any of these. I'm not, any of these products that I'm talking about. I'm just showing you what I use. Give her a light comb. See, it's okay to comb her with these because of the plastic nibs. I like to get all of the knotting and brushing done. Well, maybe not all of the knotting, but a good part. All of that brushing done, because when you're separating the hair, you're drying, it will speed up the drying. Okay? Speed up the drying. And it's no joke, it's serious. Those ears are going to be fine. Alright, so now once I got her all brushed out, I'm going to go and add and do the eyes. Diamond eyes, which they say it's tear stain remover, but it doesn't remove really. It doesn't remove any stains. I don't know why they call it tear stain remover. If you're using it 10 times a day and you're not allowing their eyes to be wet, because the reason why they get stains like that is because their eyes leak, and then it stays wet, and then the bacteria from that ends up causing, the bacteria is what causes it to become orange. And for that to not happen, you would have to clean the eyes and dry the eyes throughout the day to be sure that you don't have any moistness going on. But if you were just using water, and drying it, I think that would actually even work. So what I'm doing here is she doesn't have any debris. Oh, yes, she does a little bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all of that out, because see, I did not soak this area up. I always clean between here, the snout, but when they're too short like that, I don't like getting water there. So I cut all that hair off here, and then I'll come in with the cleaner, and I will lightly rub and clean the top of her snout. And clean that out, okay? So you got some orangey stuff going on. Orange dingy. So there you go. Look at that. Nice and clean. Actually, I'm going to cut more off here. As long as you're seeing some color coming off, orange, I suggest that you keep cleaning. There. You can use a second pad if you want, up until it's clean. So I did that. Now let's get into her ears. Her ears are looking absolutely awesome. So she seems to be pretty healed up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pull the hair up straight. I'm not pulling it out. I'm pulling it straight. And I'm also going to cut some of that length off. She doesn't really need to be plucked. She doesn't have a lot of hair. There's air. There's air moving through there. And keeping it short will also help that. And once I cut that, I'm going to use a round, and I'm going to use my ear product. So you want to be sure that your ear product, if there's too much, that you're going to squeeze it out. See? It leaks. I usually go over my garbage pail, so I'm going to lightly go into the ear. There are different ear cleaning techniques. Some is you pour the product directly in the ear. if it says to do that on the instructions. Not all ear cleaners are made the same. So cleaned out that ear. It's nice and dry in there. There's air. It's a clean ear. See? Take another one, a different pad. I'd suggest that you use a different pad for each ear. If not, you can use the same pad, but you clean with one side, and when you go to the other ear, flip it and use the other side. Never use the same side to clean each ear. Okay, so I'm going to do this again. Hang on, I turn just a little for the camera for me. And we're going to pull. I'm not pulling the hair out. I am just pulling it up and straight so that I can cut. So I can cut that. So I'm carefully going in with my little tiny scissors here, and I'm going to cut some of that hair out. Some people want the ear to be plucked. But if I'm seeing that the ear canal, there's only a few hairs in there, so the ear canal has room to breathe. The only reason why we would pluck is if it's just stuck in there, all that hair, that it causes a plug. So I'm going to come in and clean lightly here. If you're causing a plug and it gets humid in there, they're going to get, see, it's dirty, they're going to get infections, pretty sure. Especially if you wet the dog and then you're pressing down on the ear, and now it's like a sponge, becomes like a sponge, and it squeezes down into the ear. So what I want to do for her is the least possible pulling hair out, because sometimes pulling the hair out can actually cause problems to the ear, especially if you're going in aggressively and you're pulling out a whole bunch at the same time. That would be the equivalent of grabbing a ponytail and pulling it all, or grabbing 2-3 hairs and pulling it. There's a big difference in pain, right? So if you're just pulling a few little hairs out, it's one thing. As long as you're staying inside the ear, the hair here, the root is a lot deeper than the skin. Okay. So it's taking me a little longer because I'm explaining and talking at the same time. Well, explaining and talking at the same time. I gotta talk to explain, right? So, see? There you go. So those ears are clean. Now we're gonna get her dry. If ever you're using any earphones, headphones, whatever, I'm turning on the dryer so you can lower the volume. I'm gonna check her bum first. You can lower your volume, and you can turn around. Show me your bum. Okay, so it's not much debris there, but it's kind of yucky. Although I did rub with soap and rubbed her bum, I'm still going to bring this all up and out, and I'm going to cut this. Some like to go in with their shaver that is just, however you choose to work. I like to work with the scissors. I'm being very careful. And then I use a baby wipe just to be sure all of that is out. I remember when I first started and I was drying the dogs, and when I get to the bum, oh, jeez, holy, it would smell like poop. That's because it wasn't cleaned properly. So I quickly learned to get rid of that hair right away before drying and make sure that poop area is nice and clean. All right, so I am going to clean out, wiped everything out. I'm always sure to use alcohol on my tools that went in specific areas. So I like to put some alcohol on there. Make sure it's well disinfected. Okay, let that dry off. You don't want poopy in your eyes, huh? All right, so if you're using any headset, make sure you're going to lower the volume. The thing I'm going to say before drying her is I'm going to explain exactly how I go about drying. I'm going to bring this on the other side. I always dry in sections. You have a question? Someone had a question here, but I never got the question. how do I do this? Hang on, guys. No, I don't have, the question wasn't asked. So, if ever you have any questions or whatsoever, I'm here. That's why I'm doing my live videos. Any question you have. So, the way I do this is I get her on in general, I'll get the dog on one of these no-sit loops here. I used to have a plastic band here, a hard plastic band, and I found that was pretty uncomfortable for them. So I took it off, and now I put a little washcloth here, a fluffy washcloth, so that it's a little more comfortable for the belly and for the boys too, right? The boys, there, honey. This is just gonna help her not sit, and I'm gonna be able to dry one side. I'm gonna turn her around and then dry the other side. I like things to be methodical, so my method is dry section for section. So you're gonna see me dry leg, tail, back, here, side and top, here, and then here. Lightly dry a bit, maybe with my dryer, pull it back, but I have a new dryer that I'm gonna show you guys. It's absolutely awesome. A new dryer for their faces. I have two dryers actually that I use for the face, but from one dog to another, it's whatever they'll accept. But it's a lot quieter. It's so quiet, guys. Hang on, I'm gonna turn this light on so you guys can see better. I forgot to turn my light on. So here we go. This on. Sound a little better, maybe. Off and on. Yeah. So we're just gonna set it to warmer. Yeah. All right. Is this the good one? Hang on, guys. Yeah, really yellow, warmer. Not so blue. All right, so here goes the drying. And as I said, I'm drying in sections. this out of the way. There. All right, so now I'm going to dry her face with that new dryer I was talking about. I have two different dryers. I have this one, which is pretty cool. And you got some hot air coming from here, and then you have a brush. I got this off Amazon. There's a whole bunch of different companies that make them, because I noticed there's different names. This one's called iPetty. So, hang on. This one, we're all done, honey. The worst part is over. The joys of being dried, huh? Being washed and being dried, I think, is really the parts that they don't like. And the nails. The rest usually is not bad. So, and I have this other dryer that I have here. This is the iFurfy. There's different different ends that I can put. I can put just the normal combs, and I have the concentrated one, and there's other ones too that just didn't get them to take them out. So I'm going to use this one for her face, okay? And we'll see how this goes. And she hasn't. I haven't tried this one with her yet. So I'm going to turn it on. Not very loud. And I'm going to get drying. So it's not as, aggressive as the force dryer. Usually if I use the force dryer on their faces, I'll back up really far and try to get some air going in there. But some of the dogs really, really don't like it. So coming in with a smaller tool can help. And some dogs actually with the force dryer, they'll allow me to come in nice and close. So it really depends on the dog. So this is really good. This comb adjustment is really good for close to the face here. There's less blowing air going into bothering their little noses or their eyes. Because it's all concentrated on those tips, right? I really like this one. And no, I'm not being paid to say so. I just got it off Amazon. I saw someone using it. Actually, I just saw the video on Amazon. Using your face with it. So as I mentioned a while ago, brushing out while you're drying going to give you better results, straightening out the hair as best you can, and it'll also help dry faster because it separates the hair. She's not impressed with this, but at least it's not that big scary dryer, right? It's so quiet. It's not even like a hair dryer, a normal hair dryer. The other one, this one, iPetty, it's called iPetty, yeah. Sounds like a hair dryer for humans, right? So what I'm going to do now, just because I want the sake of showing you how I use the other dryer, I'm going to use the iPetty. You'll see it's a little louder, but the dogs, it's good for, it really helps fluff. So this is the lower setting, and the higher setting. Come in and brush out the ears. And I just love this. And you gotta be careful, guys, because even though there's a plastic coating on the ends, I still find it scratches. So I'm keeping my hand back there to make sure that I'm just touching my fingers. Pulling up, making sure you pull up and away from the ear flap. So see, there's no grease on those ears. That degreaser did a really good job. I'm just going to get this as dry as I can. She's good with the dryer there for her ears. If she was freaking out I probably only, like, I dry just to like 80% and let the rest air dry. And I always mention, and I will in every video, pretty much, that I am not a competitive groomer. I don't do competitions. What I do is I do family pets, family dogs. And if the dog doesn't like it, I'm not going to force. You know, I'm going to try. But if I see that I'm at a level where the dog is really, I can't do that. For myself and for the dog. So, for my sanity before vanity, guys. Sanity before vanity, I always say that. Alright. Yeah, she's good with the dryer. She just lets me dry her ears. She prefers this one for her ears than the other one I had for some reason. Yeah, good girl, Bella. Bella lost her sister not that long ago. Oh, little girl. It's not fun, it's not easy. So she's alone now. Oh, that's going to dry off by the time I'm done giving her cut. It'll be dried off. Alright, so let's get into the pads. You gonna do your pads, honey? So, are you hot? Because I have the air conditioner going on. You should know that. It's so hot here, guys, in the Montreal area, Canada. And the heat is crazy. It was like 40, the humidex was at 40 Celsius. 40 Celsius. It's crazy. Alright, I'm glad I'm not working outside today. It's supposed to rain, so. Okay, so next step after drying and all of that, let's give her a little bit of wiggle room. Look at that. Turning her around with a tight rope. Alright, so I'm going to come in and pick her paws. Pick her paws. Any way that you can come in, both of us. You know, these vertical lies, I prefer the horizontal lies, but I'm having trouble with the orientation. I can set the orientation if I decide to go live on the spot, but when I prepare my live announcement, when I prepare it like the day before, when I try to, when I go to set it, the setting doesn't stay. It's just complicated. I think YouTube really wants us to do the vertical ones for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm using a 30 blade here, guys. I'm just skimming and not digging. If she was kicking around, I'd move to a 10 blade. If she's kicking around, I'd move to a 10 blade. Because the 30 blade can cut. So if you're used to it, then fine. But if you're not used to it, I suggest you start with a 10 blade to get used to the feel and to get used to, get used to the pup. What I will do though is I'll check to see if these pads, because I don't do any digging, right? See this pad has some matting in there. So I want to get rid of that matting. And I'm going to go in with my scissors. But I'm going to come in an angle and come upwards. See how it's caught? I'm coming upwards, up and out. Just wiggle it around, pull it. Let's do it again. Point in and out. Hang on, honey. Let's go in the other angle. There, piece out. Yeah, but you don't want that there, especially if it's wet. Huh? Or if she goes and walks in the snow or in the water. All of that. She's gonna have trouble. She's sitting on me. A little more, honey. You know what? So I'm seeing here the space that I have to be able to cut that out. Okay, it's out. Usually if they have one on one side, they'll might have some on the other side. She's good. All right, there's none there. There's none back here either. All right, so I'm gonna give her a nice brush up. And after that, we're gonna do her nails and start to cut. Again, with the brush, tap and pull up and away, tap and pull up and away. Never brush on dog. Because these brushes, try it out on your arm, they can scratch. Well, I have someone that asked me, said, I have a question, and never came back to ask me that question. Okie dokie. All right. Tap and pull away, tap and pull away. Maybe I'm talking too much. I'll stop talking. Hey Bella, will be good this morning. How'd you sleep last night? Did you have nice sleeps? Always be careful here in the corners, in the flat area and under the arms. We've got some knots there. So there are different ways to go about this. I'm going to either hold her face. A little closer. I'm going to hold her face here. She's got some knots there. Coming in with this little silk brush, and we're going to just try to separate that knot, see if that works. I'm going to check with my comb. It actually worked. If it didn't work, I would come in with my thinners and I'd thin that out. So her whole ear is all done. It's still a little humid, but that's okay, it'll dry out. I could easily come in and dry and make it nice and straight, but I don't want to put her through that. As fast as you can get your dog off the table, easier it is for everyone. Yeah. All right, so she's combed out. You can do your nails, honey? I'm going to use my little Dremel that I just got. I love this little Andis Dremel. Well, Dremel is a trade grinder. And then I'm going to do back here. Bella's nails are not very long. I see her every 3 to 4 weeks. Love this grinder, it's so quiet. I go in from side to side. And I go back and forth like this. I rock it back and forth. Same here. good. You're pretty good with this grinder. Good girl. So I'll rock it back and forth. This cap comes off, just so I can show you here. Hang on, we're gonna have a little bit of that powder. Hang on, I'm gonna empty this out. All that powder goes in there, that debris. So what happens is when you turn it on, this Dremel, this head turns, and then by keeping it like it's just so much better. You don't get the hair caught in that bit that's turning. So, and I'll just rock it back and forth, rock the nail back and forth. Turn it on, give it a double click. So I'll rock it back and forth. Getting rid of the length, and then rounding it out a bit by rocking from side to side. You don't have to press too hard. If you press too hard, the Dremel stops. See? Just a very light motion. Rocking from side to side. Back and forth. No pressure. Right, I'm going to do the front feet here. I'm just going to want to turn this way. I'm going to do it like this. Let's see if she can let me do it like this. Just going to hold her like that. Come close to me, honey. So I'll just hold it upside down. Do the same thing, rocking it back and forth. From side to side. Here. Good job. Next. I'm thinking about I don't know, how many millimeters is that? 3, 4? I don't know. I'm going to do her dew claws after. Just going to finish this here. Whoops, sorry, hon. Rocking back and forth. Watch your face. You can easily do it like this too. I just like to get underneath the nail. And then side to side. Something here. She's really good with the grinder. Wow. One more, hon. I'm going to look at your dew claws. Bella, you're such a good girl. You're so sweet. Yeah, little girl. I could easily Dremel the inside too. I could do that, or I could just cut. Depends on what you want to do. If I'm to cut, what I'll do here, they're always more complicated to get to. So what I'll do is I'll just hold the pad, toss all of that hair, okay, and then push on that nail. Put your thumb there. That'll hold the nail out. Some have smaller. Some can be a little tougher, but this one is fine. See where the hook is? It's just a little hook. Goes down, and where it goes down the hook, I'm using little kitty nippers. I use that. And then I'll come in and try to just round that out a bit. And this grinder has 2 speeds. You can press 1, and then you have a lower speed, and press two clicks, and you'll have a faster speed. Same thing on this side. The way I do it this way is I come around her body like that, toss all of that hair, and then put my thumb here, hold that dew claw out. Come in, just snip a little bit of that out like that. 1, 1, 2, and I'm going to Just try to round it out a bit. Good job, girl. All right, so now that we did that, let's get the cut going. Huh? Let's get the cut going. So she is a, hang on. And what I love about this also is all of the hair, all of the debris gets pretty much caught in there instead of breathing it in, causing lung problems. And yeah, so I'm going to this is a 30, okay, it's fine. So I'm going to look at her card here. She's a 16 millimeter. So let's get this yellow canvas here, 16 millimeter. Pop that on, and we're going to do her body. Turn around. Turn around, turn around, turn around. All right, so go from the occiput at the top, we're going to come down the body. See, I see her every, is that 3 weeks? Yeah, every 3 weeks, so she never has a lot to come off. I'll come back in a few times, and we're going to go straight down. If she had straighter hair, you know, I can also come in and do one side and then on top, create that X. That blends in nice, but she's so curly. She's so curly. I do each side once or twice, and then I put this back on because I really don't want any accidents. Fall right off the table. Put around. We do the back end, side, and you know what, guys? I'm gonna also scissor over comb, so I'm just taking a bit off just to get that length going. And then the scissor over comb. She's so curly. And when they're curly like this, I like to use the scissor over comb technique. I want to get rid of all of these things too, these little, you know, and with the scissors I can do that. So back end here, lightly, and I create a nice X here. Nothing's coming off. As I said, I see her every 3 weeks. So, she doesn't grow as fast as others, because usually clients I'll see them every 6 to 8 weeks. Some are 3, some are 4. So, all that's done. I'm going to scissor that. Show me. Take this off for a moment. You're going to do underneath. Start right at underneath the jaw. Lightly, guys, because here is very sensitive. There's a lot of bones. I'm going to hold that ear front. Come in the back here. Get rid of all of that. So, do the same thing on this side. Just over a bit. If you have any questions, please let me know. Ask away. I am live every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Of course, I always start with the bath. You guys will see the puppy in the bath, the dog in the bath. And I have a new video every Monday and Friday. So don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and of course, you gotta hit that notification bell so that you can get the notification that I have a video up. Because if you subscribe, you probably won't get any notifications. You just subscribe. To get notifications, you absolutely need to hit the bell. So we did that. We're going to do her head too. Her head is also 16 millimeter. Again, you be very careful. These eyes, they bulge out, right? They're Shih Tzus, so you got to be very careful. So I'm coming downwards. And what I'm going to want to do is I want to get this too. So I'm going to pull this back, come off, go towards her nose, never turning in towards. Just go towards the nose. And you got to be careful. Some of these dogs have really bulgy eyes. Hers are not bad, seriously. But they have bulgy eyes, and then you can actually feel their eyeball here. If I press a bit, you see her little eye moving. Well, imagine if you catch this coming down, and you hit that eyeball, some are really big, that's going to be very painful. So you hold the skin back, and you want to come off, not down, okay? These things, although they're rounded at the tips, they can be dangerous. Depends on the person using the tool, right? How the person is using their tool. So I'm done with the clipper. Now we're going to move on to using scissors. Okay? I like to keep my table nice and clean as best as I can. I'm going to brush this off and start scissoring. Okay? I like to keep scissoring. Everything that I do in general is always the same thing, day in, day out, one dog after another. So I'm going to come in flat this way, not sideways. And the reason for that is because I want a bevel. I want it to bevel a bit, so pulling it in, top, flat. Always careful on top of these little pads here with these scissors. You want to focus your tip. You want to focus on your tip. These pads, they can bleed, guys. Anything that is extremities, like nose, ears, pads, that tends to bleed so much. Even for us. Anything that's at extremities will bleed a lot. It does happen when accidents do happen when we're grooming. You know, it doesn't mean that there's foul play. I mean, there can be groomers that are not always so kind, but or patient. But that's just like anyone in any business. You gotta be kind and patient if you want to be a groomer. That is the number one thing. Kindness, patience, understanding. You know, and if you're not doing well and you're not feeling as patient, it could be because many things. There are things going on with your life, you're not sleeping enough, you got bad news. You know, we're all human. And whenever we react, there's always an underlying reason, right? Always. Take out all those little curls here. She's got some curls back here too. Take that out. I'm always sure to protect her little area here. This is just hair, but you got to protect that little area. I always have my hand there. And if it's a boy, same thing. Protect that area too, especially if they're not castrated. You know. Yep. Try and come and equal this out. I have my fingers here. There's a flap here, so my fingers are like holding the flap out, but they're passing the skin, like they're lower than the skin, so that if I catch something, it'll be my fingers and not her skin. Alright? Do the inside here. This is the easier part, you know? The scissoring. To me, this is the, oh, we're almost done type of part. So we just want to equal everything out. So she has little nipples. I want to be sure that I'm touching those little nipples there, and that I know the length. I don't want to catch that. Did you have babies? Did you have little babies? I'm going to come in here with a blender. Comb this out. I'm just following her body curves. Just following the curves of her body. Shih Tzu. That leg is all curved, right? Try to flatten it out on the side here. Give it the illusion that it's straighter than it is. And I'm just going to scissor over comb to work those curls. Your dog may want to stand, sit. We've got to stand them up. And we just got to keep training them. Take some of the bulk off on the side here. And I'm using a more aggressive, I have a 30 tooth here, 30 tooth scissor here. If I go in with just normal blenders, it wouldn't cut much off. You can if you want to finish it off, but especially when these types of coats where the hair is a little more coarse. Her hair is coarse, pretty coarse. And yeah, I like to use these. I find these work the best. They're not the best, the most expensive scissors. These are just the Gabe entries, which I got off the internet, and I do want another pair. I have some more expensive Ken She scissors also, absolutely love. But these are like, they're working fine for me. Just the same. See all of these bumps? You got curls here. I like to get rid of that. So I'm just going to come in with my thinners, and I'm going to, that wave that comes back up, I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm just making it equal with all the hairs that are flatter on their back. See? She's got that here. Let's do that. Let's get rid of that. And these scissors, they do cut, I tell you. See, so it's a lot straighter. I'm going to do more on the other side. So, can you stand up, honey? This is where patience comes in. Okay? They'll want to sit. Not all dogs will just stand there for you. They won't understand. You got to understand that a dog is a dog. And it won't necessarily understand or do what you want. So, do your best. That's all. So she sat back down, fine. Get back up. This is called training. She'll understand at one point that I don't want her to do that. So see how soft all of that looks? How soft that is? It's a nice finish. Turn around, hon. And do head back, bum down. So I'm going to do the sides here and take just a little bit off. Just a little, following her bone. Her leg bone here underneath too. I did the side, I'm going to do the underneath. Try to keep that head up, hon. I don't want any scissors going in your face. Same thing here, I'll just pull it up like that, her leg. she's fighting me right now. Okay, and now I'm just going to lock her elbow. Hold this up. You can either hold her through here or lock her elbow like that. I'm going to keep a nice straight line. Go right to the chest. And come all around. And just round everything out. Best you can. From the chest to the leg. Nice and flat. Come down. Come down like that. Okay? So now that's all nice and soft. I'm just realizing that I didn't shave her belly. Let's do a quick shave, guys. It's gonna be my, sorry, my clipper's pretty loud. This clipper's pretty loud, so sorry for the noise. Up, up, up. I noticed that I hadn't done this. I usually do this before scissoring. Let's come in and clean all of this area up here. Okay? This area will be cleaned out too with my scissors later. Sit down, lift one leg, look for a little armpit, get some of that out. The reason why we take this out is because this tends to knot up and you don't want to be brushing your dog under the arms. Not too comfortable. Alright. So back to the regular scheduled program. Tip here, I want to round this out a bit. I'm going to take some of this off. And you're gonna know from one dog to the other, it's different. I'm just showing you the basics of how I pulled out. And you'll notice some dogs have a little more bulk on the tip of their toes, so you might want to work those toes a little more. Depends also on how often you see the dog. So it's case per case. Follow that bone. You can easily also stand up, which I'm going to show you how I do that. Stand her up. My hand under her belly. Stand her up. Pull all of this up. You go straight down to the table. Straight down to the table. Be careful here, there's a little toe. You don't want to catch this little toe. And behind this big pad, there's that little toe there. Staff? Staff? Can you give Bud his medication? Thanks. So, I'm going to put this up. Lock her leg. If she's pulling the leg towards her, then I have to do it this way. Okay. Just lock her leg, hold her like that. That leg shouldn't move in general unless she's really pulling hard and biting me hard. Just pulling a bit. Just letting you know that this isn't her favorite position. If she weren't doing that, I'd hold her here. And the more you let go, the more they'll let go. Hold her lightly. So I'm not pulling or anything, I'm just, you know, it's an automatic thing. The more you pull hard, the more she'll pull. Like if I pull, look at her pulling. So I hold her down, and I'm holding it, her leg straight, and I'm not fighting anything. Now I'm really loose. See, it's so loose that she got her hand out, her leg out. But there's less of a struggle going on. The more you pull and hold hard, the more they'll fight you. So the aim is to show them you can trust them, and then they'll show you that they can trust you. And that's with slower movements also, instead of just grabbing the leg. And they can feel it. If you're trying to hurry up, they'll feel it. They'll feel you being very stressed out and trying to hurry up. So. All right, so we did the front. All right, now we're almost done. We're going to do the side here. This last leg and the side there. I'm going to grab her leg here, make sure this is all nice and straight. Watch for that little toe there. There's got to be a better name for that. I call it a toe. You know? Just a toe. Right. See how I'm turning her? I put my hand through and I have my hand on the other side. And I'm pushing with my elbow to bring her forward. Hold the tail. And I'm protecting her little area here. Coming in and I'm going to create a little curve. As I said, I see her every 3 weeks. So look at how curly that is. And, you know, of course, force drying it, and brushing and force drying it could straighten that out a bit. But you know, she'll end up curling out anyway in no time. Go straight down. Although I didn't even do the straight down on the other side. It's okay, I come in with my other scissors and you cut it there. All you're doing is just shaping that leg. follow for these cuts. I mean, this is not, we're not grooming a schnauzer here. See, there's a knot. They often tend to knot dogs. They knot right here, so not a good idea to try to pull that out. I just cut those out. These pups don't like having their toes played with too much. For some reason, I'm just gonna follow that shape. And it takes practice, guys. It's all practice. Practice with safety in mind, kindness. You don't have to rush anything. I'm gonna come in and do the inside of her leg here. You're not seeing, huh? Well, that's good. Oh, I'm not sure what part you were talking about. I'm sorry, Abigail. I missed that. So we're doing the inside of the leg. Here, we're just go straight down inside the leg. I'm pushing on that flap, getting it out of the way. I'm holding her. I'm pushing her little private part out of the way. See my fingers like that. Just holding all that, opening it up to get into that leg. And just cut all that out. There. Pull it forward. And come create a nice round area here for her. And you know, the rest is really all about eyeing it, looking at what is any sticky outies, you know. Remember, there's little nipples here. I'm going to be very careful about that. I know where they are. Okay. So, scissor over comb. Let's do this. So all these curls here, this just got to equal it out. Okay? Just equal that out. It's not bad here. Move it side. Here, hon. Not bad. She's so curly. Look at that, nice and soft. I'm going to do the sides here. I'm using the wider side of my comb. I could use the other side too, but I'm just using that side. That's what I usually go for. Just keep scissoring on top here. That, scissor. Okay. Do this too here. I usually stand up for this, but because of the camera, I'm trying to do it in a different angle. If you're seeing those bumps, this bump here, that's a curling up. So I'm going to just take that off, just so that she can look nice and equal everywhere. Like that. See? Now we're going to do the tail end and then the face. Tail end. I'm going to get between the legs here, comb all of this up and out. I'm going to move this over here, come in, and cut all of that out. I'm making sure that I'm holding her little private part there so that I don't cut anything with my scissors. Same thing on this side. Okay, so now I'm going to move this over to one side, protecting it. I'm going to use my smaller scissors here, and I'm going to come in nice and short. You know, from one groomer to another, we work differently. Some will just come in and shape that. Sometimes I do, but it depends. Hold the tip here and just cut around it. I just cut each side. Hold it, cut one side, toss it over, cut the other side. And there's knots, debris, and yucky stuff that can be there. Not all dogs can get that very clean. You know, they do their best to keep their bum areas clean, but I'm just going to use my fingers here. Again, some will use a shaver for this area. I tend to use scissors because I find that the shaver sometimes can cause irritation for certain dogs. So I just use my scissors instead. No. Right, there's that stuff. Alright, so let's brush this tail out. No sitting. No sitting. Pull on the tail here. Usually I'll bring it all the way to the table. But her tail is shorter. Her mom likes her tail shorter. So I'll just take, I know that she's been here only like 3 weeks ago, so I'm not going to take a lot of that off. Okay? Comb everything down. And create this little flag here. Sorry if my elbow gets in the way, guys. I still gotta work. Right. Come right back up here a little bit. Comb it out again. Give it a shake. And then see if I missed anything. Do the other side. Be sure the other side's okay. So curly. I could easily come in with the flat iron too. But no, I'm just going to leave it at that. So the top part here, I might thin it out a bit. Just a bit. All right. You good? Push the, we tend to keep the pull the tail all the way up, and then when we come back down, then it'll cause these folds here. Push it back down, because usually their tail will be down. It won't be, well, they will bring it up once in a while, but it's got to look good both ways. Okay. I'm going to back this up a bit, and I'm going to do a little bit of scissoring on the top. Not much, just to say I'm blending it in properly. It's looking good, but all right. You want to sit for this? Then you can sit for this one. I'm just cutting the edges, guys, the edge of the hair, just the tip. Coming in, you gotta keep your comb in the same angle all the time, so make sure you're not cutting shorter or longer. Almost done. Pop you back up, 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 up. See what's going on back there. Cut some. And the legs too. Little areas that you don't see from behind. Here. All right. So let's sit her down and let's do a face, okay? Little Shih Tzu. Look at the face here. Look at that. Okay. Pull this up. And come in with these little scissors and take this beak out. I call it a beak. Which I don't know why, but it looks like a beak. And I'm going to use these thinners here, and I am not cutting flat on the nose. I am in an angle so that I don't catch any skin, because this way, if you're flat this way, you risk to squeeze that skin in there. And so I've taken the habit of always keeping my scissor up, beveled up a bit when I'm cutting. I don't like to blow in their faces because I don't want to get that hair in their eyes. So I can comb it out, brush it out. When I first started, I was blowing. And then I realized, oh my God, we've got hair stuck in their eyes. It's got to be uncomfortable. And make a nice flat line here. So again, I am live every Wednesday, 10 a.m., where I do the full groom. If you have any questions, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And I upload a video every Monday and Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So she doesn't have much to come off on her face here. Really, she hasn't grown out much. So I'm just going to equal this out here. Okay, come in the back. There's always junk back here. There. So if you have any questions, even if you're watching this after the live has streamed, please comment down below and let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm right here to answer. There's so many groomer videos out there. We all work so differently. At the same time, we work the same. We all understand what, from groomer to groomer, we all understand what grooming is all about. Right, so we're gonna go behind the ear again. Guys, we have a winner here. She's pretty much done. Do here, we're gonna give a nice little rounded out ear. Check for the leather. I have a good enough space here, so I'm just gonna tip the ends like this. So she's here every 3 weeks. We don't need to take that much off. But what I do take off, I will come in with my 42, I think this is 42 tooth, thinner, just to make this softer, the edges softer. See how she's still curly in here? Oh, that curl. And that's because I didn't dry enough, but that was a choice I made because I don't want her to be, I don't want to have her sitting there for too long, and it's okay. I'm a curly girl and I'm proud. That's what she told me. And anyway, I don't want to be pulling on her ears. So do the other ear. She's just fine and cute the way she is, the way nature made her. Just the tips, just a little. Oh, we're going to come in and top like this. And I'm going to just bevel that a bit and get rid of the harsh edges. Soften it up a bit. So down here. Ooh, there's always a little bugger there. I'm going to have to color mine. And then I'll come in here and see, needs to be pulled out, so I'm gonna come in, whoops, comb is stuck there. She's so good. Isn't she good, guys? Let me know what you think about Bella. So, here, she's just so good. Now all I have to do next is go around her body and see if I did a good job. And I need to call her mom. Oops, and I'm going to come in here, pull this out, thin this out, this area a bit, round it out. And yeah, so once again, I am live every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and I upload a new video every Monday and every Friday. I'm so concentrated right now on her. Alright, so that's Bella for you. I hope you enjoyed the live video. I'm just gonna sit here for another few minutes once I go off the live, and I am going to call her mom. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you in the next video on Friday. Take care, guys. Bye.